Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts, opinions, and feels on The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. And yes, I do have 3 editions of this book. I actually have 4 because I also have the Kindle edition. I have the American hardback edition, which has one of the drawings in gold on the front. I have this beautiful UK edition with Liesl and Death on the cover. And I just recently received the 10th anniversary edition of The Book Thief, and it's beautiful as well. Every edition of this book is beautiful. That's the inside, and also on the front you can't really see because of the lighting, but there's also a drawing on the front here as well. I don't feel bad having this many copies of The Book Thief because I absolutely loved this book. This book has been sitting on my shelf for the longest time, and I'm so happy that I finally decided to pick this book up and read it. It was actually the Booksplosion book of the month for the month of February, and I will leave a link down below to our live show discussion that we had recently because we go into full detail about all our feelings about this book, and it was just a really great live show talking about this book. I'm going to give you a rather simple description as to what this book is about, but know that this is not a simple story. It's complex, tragic, and just an outstandingly beautiful story. In this book, we see through Death's eyes as he follows a girl by the name of Liesl during World War II Germany. After being orphaned, Liesl moves in with a foster family. Before arriving at her foster family's home, she has stolen a book, and this is the first of many that she will steal throughout this book because she herself becomes the book thief. Her foster father teaches her to read, and she puts her reading abilities to good use during the bombing raids. She reads to her neighbors in the shelter to help calm them down. Oh, and her foster family is hiding a Jew in the basement. I want to first touch on the writing because to me, I just found the writing to be so original. We have this interesting perspective that we're seeing throughout this novel, that being Death, and that alone was a very uncommon perspective. This is the first book I've read where Death narrates the story, and also the first book I've read where Death is kind of its own character, and it was just such a unique and different experience. The style of writing is kind of on the edgy side, and I really liked that about this book. It's very raw and honest. Zusak has the ability to create these really tense scenes that cause unease because you just don't know what the outcome's going to be. Another thing that I found really interesting about Zusak's writing style is that he spoils you for what's going to happen in the book. He basically drops some bombs and is like, yo, this character's gonna die at the end. Now this was a really interesting move on Zusak's part because I think it really affected the death scenes. On one hand, I think it added some kind of suspense element because you're just reading the book, waiting for certain character deaths to happen. On the other hand, I feel like it kind of affected the emotional impact because you know what's coming, you just don't know how it's going to play out. But I think what the author was trying to do was to make sure that you knew that this book wasn't about those people dying. The plot itself was really interesting and it definitely kept me invested in the story. I really enjoyed just learning about Liesl's life, from her moving into the foster family and adjusting to that, to becoming the book thief, to how she handled hiding a Jew in her basement. I think that's something that the story focuses on is the relationships and different bonds that form over time. And something else that I really enjoyed about this story is that even though it's a really dark book and it talks about a really dark time in history, we still have these lighter and happy moments interspersed through all the pain and heartache. I will say that the pacing was really slow, but I feel like it fit the story well. This isn't a story that you should speed through anyway. I think this is one that you should read slowly and really think about the things that you're reading about because it's just a thought-provoking book. The last thing I want to talk about is the characters because, oh man, by the end of this book, you just love each and every character. Well, there's a few characters here and there that you're not a huge fan of, but for the most part, you love a majority of the characters. And I think that has to do in part with the length of this book. The length allowed Zusak to really explore these characters and grow these characters through time. And you, as the reader, see them grow and develop into these amazing characters. There might be a character that was introduced at the beginning of the story that you're just not fond of, but by the end of the story, you understand them and you love them. There's also characters at the start who are kind of mysterious, but then as time carries on and their stories begin to unravel, you fully get to know them and you know who they are. None of the characters felt one-dimensional to me. They all have layers and depth, and I so deeply loved that about this story. Overall, I truly love this story, and it's definitely a book that's just like wedged itself into my mind. It's one that I'm going to think about often. It's just truly a book that sticks with you. So those are all my thoughts, opinions, and feels on The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. If you guys have read this book, you should let me know down below all your thoughts on this book. What did you think of The Book Thief? I'd love to know. Also, let me know down below who your favorite character was, though that is a very hard question because we have some fantastic characters along the way throughout the story. I think for me, my favorite character was definitely Hans. He was just such a fantastic character. I loved how welcoming he was to Liesl. That was just really nice to see. If you haven't read this book, you should let me know down below if you plan to pick this book up because you definitely should. It's fantastic. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so click subscribe if you want to be notified for when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. video. Ba-choo! By Markus Zusak. Oh my gosh, that was weird. I said that really weird. Oh.